Hi, I'm Mitch. I'm the chief instructor here at Take Flight Aviation, and today I'm very excited to show you November 273 Lima Alpha, which is the newest Diamond DA40 NG in our fleet. We're here in Orange County, New York. We're about 60 miles northwest of New York City. This plane, which is a 2023 model, we purchased, it was in Northern California, in Hayward, just southeast of Oakland. About a week and a half ago, I brought this plane back from California, did I think 10 flights over 4 days to get it here, and she performed beautifully. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. If you're not familiar with the Diamond DA40 NG, it's one of the most modern aircraft in general aviation today. You can see, probably just from looking here, all modern composites used in the construction. We'll show you a lot about the engine, the avionics. All modern avionics. This happens to be the Garmin G1000 NXI. Really capable, really flexible. And since so many trainees in this aircraft go on to fly much larger aircraft, including those for corporate operators and fractional operators like NetJets and all the major airlines, I can tell you these avionics are actually more sophisticated than many of the avionics they'll be flying with in their future jobs. Here at Take Flight, as a busy training center, we love the Diamond DA40 NG because it's modern in its design and construction. It flies beautifully, and it's very flexible for our training purposes. It's a great aircraft in which to do your primary training to get your private pilot certificate. It really excels for instrument training because of all the advanced avionics. It's a lot of fun in which to do the commercial maneuvers if you're getting your commercial pilot certificate. A lot of our instructor trainees are doing their initial instructor training in this aircraft, and it's the ideal platform for when you're ready to go on and add your multi-engine rating to your pilot certificate and your instructor certificate in our Diamond DA42 NGs. When I brought this plane back to New York from California, where we acquired it, I did 10 flights over 4 days, every one of them at 11,000 feet. The weather was beautiful across the country. It really caught a break. But the fuel efficiency was such that depending on the power setting, at around 85 to 90% power, when I wanted the equivalent of a best power setting, I was still only burning about 8 gallons of fuel an hour. When I wanted more of a best economy kind of setting, around 65% power for cruise, I was only burning 6 gallons an hour. One of the things that really distinguishes this Diamond DA40 NG aircraft is the Austro engine that's inside. Very modern, very reliable engine. The Austro engine actually was originally in the Mercedes A-Class car line. This one has a gear reduction system, so the engine spins just under 4,000 revolutions per minute, but then the gear reduction system brings it down to about 2,300 RPMs for cruise operations. Part of also what makes this so modern, the entire system is as easy as possible for pilots to manage. If you're used to the typical black, blue, red levers in managing your constant speed prop for power, propeller RPM, and mixture, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see a single power lever because everything is computer controlled. It's a FADEC full authority digital engine control system. This is also a diesel engine which burns Jet A. So one of the nice things about this and what makes it so modern is that at a time when supplies for traditional 100 low lead avgas fuel are always in question, we know that Jet A will always be available. This engine, in fact, burns Jet A positive, negative, whether or not you put the Prist additive in it. It burns kerosene, it burns diesel. It's a remarkably versatile engine and very reliable. You get a lot of hours. We as a flight training center get a lot of hours on these planes. As I mentioned, when I picked it up, it was only at about 150 hours on the engine time. We've already put a lot of hours in the 2 weeks since it's been here. And we know from experience that these planes stay in operation for a lot of hours because the engines are so solid. Another great thing about this Austro engine is that it is turbocharged. And if you're not familiar, that means that the engine is able to take in more air, compress it, and basically then at higher altitudes deliver performance more akin to what we're used to getting at or near on the ground. Before I show off the avionics while I had the canopy open, I just wanted to show you how spacious this is as a four-seat aircraft. You can see the back seats here. Adults actually can sit in them, and they fold down, so you've got really good access to this baggage area. In fact, in some flights where I've had to bring a lot of stuff back and I'm flying by myself, I just bring the seats all the way down, and it really gives me a lot of room. You know, I didn't have them, but if you had them, you could easily carry golf clubs in here. To me, one of the strong suits of this cockpit design, and again, it's consistent across all the Diamond aircraft, is the ease of access for the circuits. So this is really great. Should I ever need to pop in or pull out any one of the circuits, everything's easy to access from either seat. And frankly, from a teaching standpoint, the fact that it's laid out this well, and I can see every bus and how each piece of electrical equipment is on a particular bus, is really useful for pilots and instructors. You can see here from either seat, it's really easy to get to the flap selector, and the indicator lights are very visible. Should we ever need to activate it, easy access to our emergency locator transmitter. Again, I think a real strength of all the Diamonds, I love as an instructor and as a pilot that all the backup instruments are up high. Really easy to see, and they keep my eyes outside, or if I'm in an instrument conditions, they keep my head up, so I'm minimizing any kind of self-induced spatial disorientation. Easy access to all the lights, to my air vents for environmental controls, and I was mentioning how easy it is to operate the FADEC engine. Here's the heart of that system. Once we've turned on the engine master, we check our voter switches, which lets us confirm that each engine control unit is operating as it should. We do a simple ECU test, which is the easiest run-up you'll ever do, and we're good to go. As in any aircraft, making sure that we're flying properly trimmed is always important. We've got both electric trim available to us here right on the left side pilot stick, but also, if you like it old school as I do, we've got a good old-fashioned manual trim wheel right here. The fuel system design is really interesting on this plane. Given the high pressure pump that feeds our combustion process, normal operation always comes from the left fuel tank. The fuel that doesn't burn during ignition gets cycled to the right side, eventually returned to the left side. We can also, in an emergency, direct draw from the right side if we need, just by using this switch. So again, instead of the traditional black, blue, red throttle, propeller, and mixture controls, we now have that all together in a computer-controlled power lever, which we operate very simply right here. Also nicely built in as part of the Garmin G1000 NXI avionics is a really effective go-around button. So if I do decide to go around as I'm advancing power, I'm also clicking a button that on the flight director gives me nice pitch guidance on how I should fly my go-around. It's just like in a car, inserting a key, turning the system on. You can see how quickly the G1000 NXI system powers up. Flight database is in. Matter of fact, when I picked up the plane in California, all I had to do was carry a little external disk, uploaded all the databases, and for fun, because I like these and for safety, I threw on the electronic checklists as well. So everything that we do with this laminated paper checklist, we can also do from the screen right there, which, depending on your preference, I find this really easy. Again, I like that it keeps my eyes up and I can still process the horizon. Here's an example, even while sitting in the ground, we get good indications of aircraft in the vicinity. This is telling us just to our southwest. Here's an aircraft 1,500 feet above us. Here's one a little bit closer into the north, 300 feet above. So being that this is a diesel engine, it operates based on, or its combustion is based on very high pressures, okay? So I just wanted to give you an idea of how easy and quiet this engine start is. We've already got the electrical master on. All I need to do is turn on the engine master and then go ahead and cage it. You can hear our fuel pumps operating there, right? Now this plane has already flown today, so I didn't get the glow plug annunciation. If it were the first flight of the day, I would just make sure that the glow plug annunciation had extinguished. That means that the glow plug is preheated, so we're ready for our combustion start. And unlike a traditionally normally aspirated engine aircraft in the GA fleet, where we would be doing a lot of priming and worrying about our mixture, this is how simple this is with this diesel engine. All I need to do is make sure that our area is clear, prop, confirm it visually, and turn this gate. And after 3 seconds, I'm just looking to make sure that our load, RPM, and oil pressure indications are normal, which they are. That's how simple the start is in the Diamond DA40 NG. The parking brake, we've made sure that we haven't operated the power lever for any more than 10% for at least a minute. Our ELT did not activate. I've already noted that all parameters are normal on the engine page. Our time in service, I can ensure that our avionics master is off. I'm still leaving on the strobe light because of course the prop is turning. And then all I have to do is bring off the engine master. Cage that switch, make sure that the prop is stopped turning so I can bring off the strobe light. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just double check that on the engine page, all of the indications are properly X'd out. Since they have, I can now turn off the electrical master. As I've mentioned, the Diamond DA40 NG is a really versatile, flexible training aircraft. Can be used across all kinds of courses. Beyond all the modern design, the composites used, the engine used, the fuel system used, the avionics installed, the best thing about this is how much fun it is to fly. It's a really well-designed, very stable aircraft. With the center stick, you feel you have a great sense of how the aircraft performs. When we take it out to demonstrate and recover from stalls, it's pretty nearly a non-event. It's a very simple aircraft in which to demonstrate a stall, but also show how much control the pilot still has. And the recovery is very simple. Unlike other aircraft where you may have to work a little bit harder to both demonstrate the stall and then recover from it, this aircraft, you can tell with the sense of this wing design how stable it is. And it's not a coincidence given that Diamond started as a motorized glider manufacturing company many years ago.